All right. Hariom, everyone. Thank you for your patience, and it's been a while, so it's good to be back. With that, let's go ahead and get started with opening prayers. It'll be Om Sahana Vavatu, Vakraturna Mahakaya, Saraswati Namastubhyam, and Guru Brahma, Guru Vishnu. Then we will chant the first two verses of Sadhana Panchakam. We'll do lead and repeat style, and then chant just the first two together. So with that, Om Sahana Vavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Vakraturna Mahakaya Surya Koti Samaprabha Nirvignam Kuru Me Deva Sarvakaryeshu Sarvada Saraswati Namastobhyam Varade Kamarupini Vidyarambham Karishyami Siddhir Bhavatu Me Sada. Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Gurureva Param Brahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. So please repeat after me. Vedo Nityam Adhiyatam Tadudidam Karma Svanushthiyatam Tadudidam Karma Tene Shasya Vidhiyatam Apachitihi Tene Shasya Vidhiyatam Apachitihi Kamye Matistyajatam Kamye Matistyajatam Papogaf Paridhuyatam Bhavasukhe Doshonusandhiyatam Atmecha Vyavasiyatam Nijagrahat Turnam Vinirgamyatam. Now verse 2. Sangat Satsu Vidhiyatam Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridadhiyatam Shantyadif Parichiyatam Dridataram Karmashu Santyajyatam Sadvidvanupasripyatam Pratidhinam Tatpaduka Sevyatam Brahmaikaksharamardhyatam Shruti Shiro Vakyam Samakarnyatam. All right, we'll chant together for verse 1 and 2 again. Vedo nityam adhiyatam tadudidam karma svanushthiyatam Tene shasya vidhiyatam apachitihi Kamye matistyajatam Papogaf paridhuyatam Bhavasukhe doshonusandhiyatam Atmecha vyavasiyatam Nijagrahat Turnam Vinirgamyatam Sangat Satsu Vidhiyatam Bhagavato Bhaktir Dridadhiyatam Shantyadif Parichiyatam Dridataram Karmashu Santyajyatam Sadvidvanupasripyatam Pratidhinam Tatpaduka Sevyatam Brahmaikaksharam shruti shiro vakyam samakarnyatam. All right. So today, I figured that we won't have a lot of weeks in a row to take up a concept. So we'll be going into break mode in a little bit. So I figured today we will again revisit the idea of seva to the Guru, the last line in this second verse. Seva to the Guru, and delve into who is Guru, what makes him qualified to be a Guru, what does it mean to be surrendered to that Guru, and what does it take within us to really bend down and bow down to Guru and do his seva, and see a couple of one or two stories that I found of great shishyas that exemplify what it truly means to surrender. Then we'll go into the idea of Brahmaikakshara. Brahma, that one akshara, that one letter, what does it signify? Because that upasana of Om, and I say upasana, not meditation or samadhi, there's a difference. That will come at the end of Sadhana Panchakam. This is just the upasana of Om. What does it mean? What is it indicating? So fair warning, near the end of this, it's going to get really dry, really technical. That's why I pulled out the whiteboard. We're going to use that at some point. And so bear with me. This is the idea of today's satsang. Give me 1 second to make sure I'm in the right place in my notes. All right. So this idea of seva to the Guru is also given in chapter 13 of Gita, verse number 8. There's a list of good qualities that a sadhaka should have, starting with fearlessness. But along the way, we see this one word called Acharya Upasanam. Acharya Upasana. Same as Guru Seva that we see in this verse. So, if you look at Puja Gurudev's commentary just for that one word, there's only one sentence that's there. I got really frustrated when I did study for this. I'm like, what, there's only one sentence? Give me more. The one sentence, though, if we really think about its meaning, gives a lot of implications. The one meaning or definition that Puja Gurudev gives, the seva or upasana we do to the Guru is seeking mental and intellectual identity with the teacher's pure mind and intellect. Very interesting. This is going beyond the physical seva. It starts there, no doubt, but the true bhava that we've reached the seva of Guru's feet is when we have a mental and intellectual attunement, identity, oneness. There's a sync between the Guru and Shishya's mind. That is that bridge that gets connected. So, who is this teacher? You say, what is his pure mind? What is his pure intellect that we're connecting with? Then I need to know who he is. If I need to become identified with him, then I need to know who he is. So, the glory of the Guru is given as Granati iti Guru, the one who teaches. So, of course, that's a obvious definition. But it goes one step further. The word Guru itself is made up of two words, Gu and Ru. Gukara, or the letter Gu, represents andhakara, blindness, or darkness, ignorance. Rukara, the Ru symbol, is said to be Tejaha, Tejas. So the Guru is one who comes along with the light of knowledge, is able to remove the darkness of ignorance. Guru. This is the implication of the word Guru. He is the one who is the light of knowledge that removes the darkness of ignorance. So obviously the symbolism of the diya is very important to us. I'll make a side tangential comment here. When we celebrate birthdays, we just celebrated birthdays today in the assembly. What is our habit when we bring out the cake and we put the candle in there? What do? We light it and then blow it out. How can that be part of our sampradaya, our traditions, when in fact you should bring a cake with candles that are not lit and ask the birthday student to light the candles? It keeps in line with what the bhava is. Guru is exactly that. He is the one that brings the light of knowledge to remove the darkness of ignorance. And there are all types of gurus, is it not? Anytime we learn something, we say, oh, he's a guru of cooking, he's a guru of singing, he's a guru of project management. I'm sure there are many titles that come like that too. But in our culture, we have a very special definition when it comes to who that guru is. The guru that gives us that spiritual knowledge is the one that we assign as the word guru. Why? Because when we are trying to understand the world around us, we need to understand the way the world functions. Therefore, Shastras are not lacking in any of its research. I think we've seen this all the way in the beginning of Sadhana Panchakam when we said, what are the Vedas that we have to study? We saw the vastness of its research. All of that is considered as aparavidya, meaning lower knowledge. And what is the higher knowledge? That which indicates the substratum behind all of that. Who is that which makes this world the way it works? Who is the cause of this world? Who is the cause of me? Who is the one that sustains me? The one that explains that is considered as the higher knowledge, paravidya. And the guru who is in tune with that and who is able to teach it, they deserve the title of guru. Now there are different types, even within this higher knowledge. Our Shastras give different titles or different names based on what they are teaching. There is Vakya Guru or Karma Guru. He is the one that guides the knowledge of right and wrong, the idea of right conduct, what is the duties in each stage of life, ethics, morality, rites and rituals, and traditions and customs. Typically, we say that they're called as Pandits or Purohits. So interesting, now we have to reflect on where we are today, right? Pandit is somebody we call on the temple, hey, I need a puja done, can you come over? He starts chanting, you're sort of half listening. But really, when it comes to traditions, customs, rites, rituals, what do I do in life? That practicality, karma, someone to guide me. These are the roles of Pandits and Purohits, and they're called as Karma Guru. Then you have an Upasana or Mantra Guru. When we delve deeper, now we really want to fine-tune that mind, become aligned with that substratum, develop that bhakti, we take on the practice of Upasana. May I take up a mantra as my sole focus on my Ishtadevata, and may I commit my sadhana in consistency in practicing that mantra. Somebody has to give that to me and guide me in the right direction. That guru is considered as Upasana or Mantra Guru. He initiates us and guides us in the spiritual practices like puja, japa, and meditation. Then comes the biggest guru, Jnana Guru, the one who really tells us his substratum. And I think Shastras love subcategories because we have three types, three types of Jnana Guru. Prerak Guru, he's the one that prompts. I like the word, Prerak, prompt. He's the one that gets us into this path of understanding and knowledge. In fact, Guruji in his commentary says, it can be any person, family or friends, or even Mahatmas or saints that we have come to understand what their life story is like. He goes further. He says even striking incidents or difficult situations can even become a Prerak Guru. This reminds me of, I think, our third grade syllabus, where Dattatreya goes around to this entire world and says, I have 24 gurus. I take whatever is in front of me as the guru that indicates that highest. Prerak Guru, even situations can become that. So may our perspective towards challenges and difficulties not be negative or pessimistic. They are all gurus coming towards us to make us live better. Prerak Guru. And my favorite example in all of Puranas is Narad Muniji. Whenever you try to give characteristics to Narad Muniji, he is the troublemaker. He always ends up going into people's lives and saying, have you really thought about this? And it causes a whole rest of the story. But if we look at what Narad Muni ji does, he asks just the right question to get you to start thinking. And at the end of every story Narad Muni ji is a part of, that sadhaka becomes the greatest bhakta at the end. So he is an excellent form of Prerak Guru. Then Bodhaka, like Buddhi, Bodha, the one who actually gives us the teaching of the scriptures. This is the Shravana part. And as we look at the third verse of Sadhana Panchakam, we're going to head directly into the Shravana part of Jnana Yoga. So the one who teaches the scriptures and inspires us to reflect and introspect. Now, the Chudamani of the, we have all the types of gurus. Jnana Guru is the best of the best. Of that, we have 3 subtypes. Now we're looking at the best of the whole best. Who is this? This we say is Satguru. Not Sad Guru. It's spelled S-A-D-G-U-R-U. It's not Sad Guru, it's Satguru. This Satguru is one who liberates us from the cycle of birth and death through the knowledge of that truth. There is no other type of teaching or liberation that a guru can give any higher than this. To take us out of our own limitations, to take us out of our own ego, and make us see who we really are as that truth, no less than a Satguru. And he has to be of 2 qualifications. One is that he is Brahma Nishtha. Brahma Nishtha. He has to be experienced in that realm himself. The best example here is, can someone help you cross the ocean if you yourself don't know how to swim? No. You have to know how to swim. You have to have gone through the process of learning how to swim, have learned to face all the challenges of swimming in the ocean. Only then are they qualified to give us this knowledge. So Brahma Nishtha, they themselves have had to transcend their own limitations, experience that truth, and therefore can be proof of what Shastras tell us. We are very lucky because we don't have to search very far. Puja Gurudev is that Satguru that himself has transcended and has all the compassion to come and share that knowledge with us. This brings us to the second qualification of a guru, Shrotriya Nishtha as well. Because when there is that highest truth that is said to be anirvachaniya, beyond the ability to capture that idea in words, how is someone supposed to teach us with words? Very ironic, very difficult task they have. How is it that I'm supposed to describe something that is my own source, using my own intellect, fueled by that? How can I look back into the source of a mind and intellect? That's also very hard to do. So there are certain techniques in which that which is beyond indication is still indicated. That is Shastras. Upanishads in every form, we have so many of them, but they all have one point. Find and discover that truth, that Paramatma in its nature, and identify with it. Many different angles to approach it, different angles of analysis, but the bottom line is one and the same. Those techniques, the Guru is well versed in so that he may connect with us, speak with us, and understand where we are. When he is established in that Shastra, he is able to look at where the gaps in our understandings are, where, more importantly, where our ego and vasanas are acting up and playing around with. He knows how to bridge the connection between where we are and where we should be. And therefore, doing seva to that Guru will help us become in tune with him, and he comes to understand where we are. It is a very special relationship that cannot be commercialized, manufactured. It has to be organically grown when that relationship is built. Now, when it comes to the student now, this is the exalted teacher that I want to approach and want to really learn from. when I do seva, what is really going on in terms of the shishya? This is surrender and prostration. And the best symbols is to understand the relationship between the feet and the head. Between the feet and the head. The highest position is the head. The lowest position is the feet. And so when we want to keep ourselves tall and prideful and keep our head held high, what do our feet need to do? Become grounded and firm. Without a firm foundation, the head can't be held high. A very interesting symbolism that's going on here. But we, of course, flip that around, especially when it comes to a shishya. What do we yell at our kids every time there's a guru or a guest at home? What do we tell them to do? Bow down, do pranams. And they're like, why? And he said, just shush, do it. Because when that refusal of the head to come down is there, it is also the representation of that ego. Ego doesn't want to go anywhere. It always wants to stay on top, always wants to be seen. But when we do prostration and surrender, we say, ego, shh, get down, put your head down. So that's one act of surrender. And what does the feet represent then? I am now looking at the Guru's feet, not my own feet, Guru's feet. What does that represent here? The feet keep us grounded when it is firm. Where I sit depends on what I stand for. These are phrases that I picked up along the way to represent what do the feet represent. If I don't stand for something, then I will fall for everything. So the greatness depends on the greatness of the values, ideals, and goals that I stand upon. When my values are well grounded, I will not be led astray. So the feet represent knowledge, goals, values, divine virtues, ideals, nobility, and the very culture we stand for. So to touch and worship the feet of those that we respect, we're saying, I bow down onto what you stand for. I'm bowing down and surrendering to that. So that Satguru, who stands on nothing less than that highest truth, the very God principle that he is, therefore it is worthy not just of saluting and surrendering to, but his very feet become worthy of meditation. May I meditate upon the feet of my Guru, because his feet is that substratum. It is that truth itself. And that is why we represent Bhagwan's feet, Guru's feet, as the lotus feet. The one who has arisen as pure from the murk of samsara. So this, of course, I have to bring in Hanumanji. In Hanuman Chalisa, the very, very first line, Shri Guru Charana Saroja Raja, Nij Mana Mukura Sudhari, Barano Raghubara Bimala Jasu, Jodayaka Phalachari. That may I surrender to your lotus feet, and may I take the dust upon the feet of my Guru and wipe the mirror of my mind clean. That mirror reflects purely that which I already am. May I surrender to that Guru who is the giver of the four phalas: dharma, artha, kama, and most importantly, moksha itself. So the head and the feet have a very intimate relationship, especially when it comes to shishya and guru. May my head, which is the ego, come all the way down to below the dust on the feet of my Guru. That dust is that knowledge, that feet is that very substratum itself. May I take that shastra, that teaching, wipe my mind clear, and truly become aligned with that pure intellect of my teacher. This is Acharyopasanam. So this devotion is very sacred and special. Anytime we have a chance to read the stories of a shishya and a guru, may we hold that dearly and lovingly with compassion. It is a constant reminder. So this reminds me of the story of Adi Shankaracharya ji, one of his shishyas. Before he got sannyasi, before he was given a new name, his name was Sanandana. And he was one of the brilliant students. Of the four main shishyas of Adi Shankaracharya ji, he was a very brilliant student. It's said that he was able to grasp whatever Adi Shankaracharya ji told him 3 times as fast as any other student. So of course, what happens when there are a bunch of dumb shishyas that are competing with each other? Oh, he can learn faster than I can. He memorizes faster than I am. That's not fair. You know what? The guru probably has him as a favorite student. Competition will naturally start. And Adi Shankaracharya ji saw this in the 4 shishyas. Okay. So, knowing this, of course, guru never directly address anything. They will show by example. So, they were in Badrinath one day, and Sanandana was doing some sort of work on the banks of the river Alkananda. And Adi Shankaracharya ji, he was busy with the other students, and they were discussing working on something. Suddenly, he stood up, and he had a very intense stare. It is believed that he called out to Sanandana in his mind. Some other stories say he genuinely did say it out loud. Whatever is the case, Adi Shankaracharya ji called out to his student. Now, typically, if where Sanandana was to reach the guru, they'd have to go around the river because it was raging, gushing river. You can't directly cross it. And it would have taken hours. But Sanandana, he was suddenly startled out of his work knowing that there's a call from the guru. And he, in his ardent bhava to reach his guru when called upon, there's no distance, there's no laziness, there's no gap between him and his guru. He wants to close that gap. In his urgency, he just went right across that river. And that current of that river would have washed him away. As soon as he stepped on that river, out of nowhere, a lotus bloomed right under his foot to support his step. And as he kept running, every step of lotus bloomed to support him, and he made it all the way across. His anxiety to reach his guru was so strong that the world became a miracle to even support him with the lotus under his feet. Sanandana wasn't aware of any of this happening. His focus was on his guru so much, he was oblivious to all of this. He ran across, and the guru and the shishyas were astonished. Of course, guru wasn't. The other students were. They were shocked. They were dumbfounded. And they understood that this kind of fabulous miracle can't happen if that love and devotion from Sanandana to his guru wasn't that strong. Because it was so strong and so pure, they knew that the real reason why Guru favored him was because of his devotion, not his intellectual charisma. His love and devotion is what was acknowledged that day, and that is what made that shishya particularly great. And therefore the name, he was named that day as Padma Padacharya ji, that his very feet are supported by that lotus. So like this, whenever we get a chance to really see and seek out these shishyas of a guru, inspires us to what standards we have to come to even surrender to that guru. So even with Bhagwan, there is one way of understanding Bhagwan directly. But the sweetest and most moving way to understand Bhagwan is through his bhaktas. The way they surrender, the way they love in all of their unique stories. Let our hearts flourish and blossom like that Padma to support the feet of every guru that we come to learn and evolve with. So this is the bhava behind Guru Seva. And none of this knowledge of the highest is even possible without this kind of attunement in the mind. Therefore, I come back to that definition. When there is an identity of this mind and intellect with the Guru's mind and intellect. So, now that we have about maybe 10 more minutes, I will do my best in shifting to the next topic. Brahmaikakshara martyatham. Brahma Akshara. After we have surrendered to that Guru, we seek from the Guru the mantra of Om. That is the definition of that line in Sadhana Panchakam. Once I've surrendered to that Guru, I seek the upasana of Om. So let us, give me a second, I'm going to get down, and we're going to talk about the meaning or structure behind Om, and talk about that substratum. What exactly is it? And we're going to go through the definition of Sat, Chit, Ananda independently. Please bear with me, it is a little bit dry. Even if it's confusing, that's fine, because very rare come to realize the very truth of this. So this is a good exercise we do again and again no matter what. So give me a minute, let me get down. Shall I move this way? Tell me when, a little bit more. Okay. Okay. All right. So, Brahma Akshara. Omkara. Brahman. Let me first start with this one word. Now, let's not get confused with two other words. A Brahmin and Brahmaji. There are three different words here, right? So, okay. So, what I want us to notice is the ending of each of these words. That will tell us what is being referenced here. Brahman is that Om, that truth, substratum, Paramatma. I'm using all of these as synonyms to indicate that highest reality. Brahmaji is the creator. Now, I'll give you a quick grammar lesson in Sanskritam. We know, does everyone know that nouns in Sanskritam have three types of genders? Masculine, feminine, and neuter. And each of the word ends with a particular word, and then when it's put in a sentence, they change forms. So for example, into the forest, with the forest, of the forest. They keep changing, right? English doesn't have those conjugations. In Sanskritam, it does. So, the original word for Paramatma without any conjugation is Brahman. The original word for the creator, without any conjugation, is also Brahman. This is where confusion starts to come in when we start reading Sanskritam. When we want to use these words as a subject, meaning this is the subject of the sentence, the doer of that sentence, Brahman remains as Brahman. Creator then becomes Brahma. That's when I know the difference between which word I'm talking about. This is neuter, and this is masculine. I just wanted to go through this so that we start to recognize the subtleties of Sanskritam and recognize who we're talking about when we're reading Gita. There are two different words, Brahman and Brahma, because of the subject of when it's used. Of course, we got to get into all the grammar to figure out the rest of the sentences. I won't go there. Now, last one is, or in our American pronunciation, Brahmin, right? This one, in, meaning the one who is in possession or associated with. So in this case, this is the Varna. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Brahmana is the one who studies Brahman. Therefore, he is associated with. So that's where the word comes in, but there are three different contexts. So is that clear so far? Brahman, Brahma, and Brahmana. There are three different words, so let us not get confused. So, now let us look at Brahman. You will typically see it being represented by Om. And there are 3 words that are used as definitions for Brahman. There we go. I don't want to mix that up. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, Chit, Ananda. We'll deal with those 3 a little bit later. Om. What does Om represent? Om is actually made up of 4 parts. 4 parts. A plus U plus and silence. 4 parts. Let's not forget this one. It's actually the most important part. So if we look at the way sound is created, it starts from the lungs, traveling through the throat, through the mouth, out through the lips, and then it goes out into space. The natural progression of sound. So if we say so let's all be weird. Say sound like high schoolers right now. I don't know. Where do we feel that sound coming from? Here, right? Now let's say ooh. Ooh. Where is that? Somewhere in the middle here. Last one. I'm really hungry. You have to use the lips. After that, there is silence. Now when we travel through these 3 sounds quickly, now if you really put it together, I won't make it sound that ridiculous, it turns into Om. So if you chant Om very slowly, Om, you can feel that transition of sound from here to the mouth to the lips and then into silence. Now, this is also very symbolic in what it represents. Om, or the A part of Om, is considered as the waking state. U is the dream state and deep sleep. I'm having a little bit of doubt whether I put it in the right order. I have to go back and check, but the ideas will still remain the same. That each of them represents the different states we're in. This is our states of awareness. When I'm awake, my senses are alert. They are consuming a lot of data from the world outside. If we all look at the carpet, we can all say this is blue. If we look at the wall, we say, all of us, that that's the beige color wall. All of us have our own sets of organs of perception, but the objects remain the same. We're all getting the same data. So there is an interaction with Jagat and the Jiva. This is the full-blown waking state. When we're entering into dream state, what happens? The sense perceptions shut down. There is no more seeing, there's no more smelling, tasting. Like Kumbhakarna is the best example. They try to shake him up, but he won't respond to anything. But we still seem to experience something. And especially if you see dogs that are like fast asleep, don't they like bark and like run in their sleep? There's still a world going on that's being perceived. Therefore, it's somewhere in between that it's a dream state. The mind is projecting a world, and it's that same mind that's perceiving that world. A very interesting dynamic. Finally, when there is dead tiredness, I slept like a log, there is no more dream at all itself. So I'm in complete deep sleep. Now, in that state, I know nothing, I perceive nothing. It almost feels like there's nothingness. But how do I know I had good sleep? I don't know while I'm having it. It's only the before and after. Before I went into deep sleep, I knew what my experiences were. I went into deep sleep, and then when I woke up again, I'm still the same person, but there's this gap of agitation. Lack of agitation. And now I know there was nothing. It was awesome. I had really good sleep, deep sleep. Where now the mind itself has shut down, and there is only ignorance being perceived. Very important understanding here. When the senses have shut down, there's no more input. When the mind and intellect have also shut down, what's there? Darkness, nothingness. That is ignorance. That is when the last part becomes really important. That silence. If we look at it, it is said that silence has to persist for sound to play upon. There has to be silence in order for there to be sound. Therefore, we say silence is a substratum of sound. It is the one that supports sound. So, when we listen to, when we say that our waking world, dream world, and even our ignorance is gone, we have removed all three, what is left over? What is left remaining? That's the question. Whatever is left over is that Paramatma. Sorry, this is my notes shortcut. Brahman. I just put Om and put a B in front of it. This is that substratum itself. I'll wrap up in a few minutes. This is the upasana of Om. When I sit down for chanting of Om, I do it very slowly. Consciously follow this evolution of waking, dream to deep sleep, and sit in the silence and ask myself, when all is removed, what is left over? What is that? Trying to come to understand that is a process of meditation. That is what the responsibility of sannyasi ashram is all about now. I want to drop my identification with all the limitations that I am, find out what is my infinite nature. What is this silence? What is this substratum? I want to know who that is. What is that? What is its nature? That becomes the responsibility of sannyasa ashram. Now, in the rest of Sadhana Panchakam, what we will see is we now beginning Shravana, Manana, and Nididhyasana. Shravana is even realizing to even ask that question. What is that which supports this world of waking, dream, and deep sleep? Is there something? To even ask that question requires knowledge. That is Shravana. Shastra's point, there's something more. Then we look at all the logic that's presented saying, is it possible? What is this? What is Sat? What is Chit? What is Ananda? What is its nature? Why is it the substratum? How does it relate to this entire world? Give me that logic, because my mind still has doubts. The one question we want to address here, Paramatma is one alone. It is oneness. Is that my experience right now? Do I feel that oneness? No. I see carpet different from the mat. The mat is different from the wall. You and I are different. Plurality is what I experience. Why is it one? There's a difference in understanding. Those gaps have to be removed. That is Mananam. Finally, okay, this is what the Shastras say. I am that substratum. I need to experience it for myself. No more logic. I need it as an anubhuti. That becomes Nididhyasana. I want to know what is that silence, what is that Brahman and Om. That is Nididhyasana. And after accomplishing all three, last verse of Sadhana Panchakam will tell us, now we have achieved liberation and moksha. So this is what's ahead of us. I was just watching the time, so I won't be able to go into Sat, Chit, Ananda. We will, when we come back from break, we will review a little bit, because it will be a while, and then we'll go straight into this topic when we come back. So with that, I have a quick there is a quick announcement. So we'll do closing prayers, and I'll pass it off to Praveenji, and with that, thank you so much. Om Purnamadah Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha